Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. So this entire reading, this is a collaboration with the one and only Tarot with Tay. And it really was inspired by something that she says all the time on her channel. And she talks about inner standing, things that we need to understand. She'll say things and she said, if you don't understand this, then maybe this isn't the right time for you. Maybe this isn't the right message for you. Or if you're not understanding this completely, then maybe you need to ask your guides. Maybe you need to come back to spirit. There are a lot of ways in which it presents itself. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful concept that she has here. And I literally, about a month and a half ago, heard understand. What do you need to understand? And at that time, I was, in the middle of really developing relationships with other readers and learning my own personal boundaries and learning how to say no, learning when to say yes, learning a lot about myself. And so I originally thought it was just, okay, maybe this is just something that, my guides are asking me because I was watching Tarot with Tay's videos and they were resonating so deeply after her father passed. And it just, I was sitting here in awe of her, and I'm still just so in awe. But I was going through my own stuff where I was learning how to understand certain things. And then I got, for those of you who are new, this is not an unusual thing for me to talk about when I take a shower. There's nothing overly sexual about it, guys. Like, get your minds out of the gutter. I call it my epiphany shower. So I had an epiphany shower moment. This is my epiphany shower collaboration. With her concept of understanding, that's what she's going to be focusing on, what you need to understand. What I'm focusing on, this part of the collaboration, is all about the conscious awareness of how the outside world impacts your own thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and emotions. The ways in which you give your own power away and don't see that correlation necessarily. So there's this collective call going out for us to return home to ourselves, but we don't always feel at home within ourselves. Along my journey, it's truly been a struggle. And a lot of the times it was directly caused by my allowances of the opinions of others to color or dictate how I loved myself, what I believed of myself, how I moved through the world, and what I believed I was capable of doing in this world. In order to shift my perspective, I had to allow for a bird's eye view of the impact of my outer world on my inner self and openly accept who I truly am, my most authentic self, this quirky, weird person that is Monica. It's taken me a really long time to be like, I'm really strange, and I love that I'm really strange. To be like, I channel really differently and love that I channel differently. To realize the value that I have within myself. It's taken me a very long journey to get to this point. So today, what we're going to do together is take a bird's eye viewpoint on your outer world and situation and how it's seeping into your inner world. Because in my opinion, the first step in overcoming any problem, and you see this in pretty much any recovery program ever, the first step to any problem is admitting there is a problem. So you need to find this recognition, this awareness, awareness is really the only word that I can think of. Awareness of what it is that's going on and what it is that is getting into your inner world, into your beliefs and your ability to love yourself and see the worthiness of who you are, or rather preventing it. So after that, we're going to ask for a little bit of guidance on how you can take steps to shift your perspective into a state of true authenticity, seeing the truth of who you are, your own personal uniqueness, your own personal awareness, and then moving from that space. So for this reading, we actually have 2 collective runes, and I put them up here. I know they're kind of off to the side, but that's kind of how it felt. Is this, I'm going to keep shoving this energy off to the side and shoving it off to the side and shoving it off to the side while I focus on everything else. Now, the 2 runes that we have are Wunjo and Dagas. It's joy and day. And the simplest way of reading these runes that I was getting from Spirit was literally like, collectively, we're seeking more joyful days in our lives. We want to fully embrace these moments of joy, of happiness, of brightness, of shining forth, of feeling that sun beat down on us no matter what the weather truly is, but being able to access the energy of the sun in every aspect, to be able to see the light of day in everything, and to fully step into this energy so we can see ourselves, our lives, and all we have in our lives to really tap fully into the joy in our very existence. One of the biggest ways that I have learned to do this, and I know it is, guys, it's so fucking cliche. Like, I can't even lie to you. It is so cliche, it's ridiculous. But gratitude. Gratitude gets you so much further in life than you will ever realize until you start making it a conscious decision every day to wake up and be like, thank you for today. Thank you for the sun coming up. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for me being able to put my feet on the ground. Thank you for the clothes that I wear. Thank you for the busted, beat down vehicle that I drive. Or thank you for me not having a vehicle. Thank you for the cell phone that I have so that I can communicate with the outside world. Thank you for food on my table. Thank you for the love that I have with my animal. Thank you for the goldfish that I have on my counter. Like, literally, as ridiculous as it seems, when you wake up and you go through this list of things in your life, and then you thank Spirit, you thank the universe, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for this, thank you for that, you're cultivating this relationship that you're telling the universe, I love my life. I love this awareness that I have. I love waking up every day. I love engaging in this world. I love every present moment that I'm in, from one to the next to the next. And I am so grateful that I get the opportunity to embrace everything within this conscious awareness that we have and this incarnation that I'm living. And I am so grateful for the opportunity every single day to grow, to change, to learn, to adapt, to meld, to elevate, to ascend, and to come forth into the world and live a more meaningful, a more joyful, a more filled with light, shining existence. This is a big, big thing that we can all collectively change together right now. It's something that I've been working on every day for about 2 years, and it finally stuck, guys. Like, it finally stuck. All right. So without further ado, because I've talked your ear off like I do, we are going to go into each and every one of the piles. Each one comes with a question, and it's literally just empowering questions. And so we're going to look at these empowering questions, and each one has a rune. The questions and the rune are going to tell me any information about how the outside world is impacting your inner world. So there's going to be a lot of free flowing channeling that I'm going to do, because I was called really deeply to allow for the messages and the energies to come in as I channel for this one in particular. Usually I like to sit with this for a really long time and do automatic writing. But with this particular reading, I was told not to do automatic writing, but do more direct channeling. So I did want to let you guys know this is going to be just a little bit different than normal. With my collaborations, I think a lot of that has to do with the energy that Tay brings and the ways that she channels. But I have been sitting with the energy for about a week now. I've had it sitting for about a week. I did want to say, if anyone who's watching this, if you are not aware of who Tarot with Tay is, go check her channel out. Watch her as she channels, because she's one of those readers like Odessa who puts her face on the screen. And both me and my daughter Eliza love watching it because it is fascinating to us to watch her channel. Absolutely fascinating. And I did want to say, before we get into what the piles signifiers are, I want to say a huge shout out to Tarot with Tay. I want to say thank you so much, babe. Like, thank you for doing this collaboration with me. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for shining a light on the darkest places that we don't want to see collectively, but doing it with such bravery, such fearlessness. Thank you for embracing parts of things that normal people would be like, that's crazy, because some of the things that you have channeled have helped me understand things that I've been doing in my life that I could not put the pieces to because I didn't know. Thank you as well for showing the entire world what it looks like to grieve in a healthy way, to feel sadness from a state of love, and to show the world what it is like to lose someone that you love while still vibrating at such a high frequency. You are a rock star. You are amazing. And my heart is, it's filled with so much love for you. So thank you so much, Tay, for everything you do, not just for me, not just for yourself, but for the collective as a whole. You are a beautiful light in a lot of darkness, and you shine it unabashedly. And that is something that I admire so much about you. So thank you so much, honey. All right, guys. After that, send a lot of gratitude Tay's way, everybody. And now let's get into the piles. So we have pile 1. It says, what does happiness mean to me? And then we have the Ingwaz rune. And then we have pile 2, what gives me great joy? And the Hagalaz rune. And pile 3, what kinds of routines or habits limit my experience of everyday life? With the Iwaz rune. And then we have pile 4. How or in what way do I experience myself when I'm alone? With the Laguz rune. And instead of telling you guys what the meanings of the runes are, which I had contemplated, I'm going to leave it to be more prevalent with the questions and allow your intuition to tell you which runes are correct for you. If you're drawn to one rune and a different question, then the likelihood is that you have multiple messages in multiple piles. Remember, these are readings for a collective. Readings for a collective. So please use your discernment and take only the messages that resonate and leave the rest for who they belong to. Without further ado, I'm going to put on some meditation music. Allow yourselves to get in touch with your guides, with your intuition, and let yourselves be led to your piles. And I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile one. So if you chose the first pile, the card, What Does Happiness Mean to Me, as well as the Ingwas rune, this is your message about what you need to understand. Now, before we get going, I did want to say if you guys catch any smoke in the camera or anything of that sort, I do have my sage bundle going. I am cleansing the area in between each of these readings just because I'm inviting a lot of exterior energies into my space. And usually I work with the inner life and the inner world primarily, as well as the cosmos. And so I don't usually touch this much outside energy, like outside world energy. So before we get going on the message, what I want to do is I actually want to light this candle. And I don't normally do intention setting with you guys just because whereas I really respect the readers who do that, and I think it's a great thing. For me, when I set an intention, it's usually something that is deeply, deeply personal. But something was just calling to me and saying, okay, just give them a small white tea candle. Have you guys set an intention? I'm going to light it. And from there, we'll have it going throughout the reading. When the reading is done, I will keep it burning and put it on my altar space for you guys. Okay, so I want you guys to bring up something within your mind, something that is what you would consider to be utterly selfish, that you find happiness in your life. I want it to be, not I want it to be, but I'm feeling your guides and spirit saying, make it something that has to do with you and no one else. Something you normally wouldn't ask for because you feel like, well, that doesn't take anyone else into consideration. So think about something like that. Okay? Hold that in your mind's eye. Hold the image of it. What would it feel like for that to be in your life? For instance, say you're an author and you want to be a New York Times bestseller, like #1 New York Times bestseller. Imagine opening your phone and going to the New York Times bestseller list. And you're browsing it one morning and you look, and there at #1 is your name. You don't even have to have the name of your book if you don't have one in mind, or the cover or anything like that. Just imagine what you would respond, how you would respond, how it would feel if you were to look at that list and see your name as #1. That's just one example. So whatever it is, I want you to really embody how it would feel at that exact moment. For those of you who are holding back tears, let the tears fall. Let yourself really, really sink into how this feels in your life. All right. I'm going to go ahead and light it. There we go. You guys have some incredibly powerful intention here. I've done this for myself before, but I have never seen a flame go so high, so steady, so fast. So this is definitely telling me that this is definitely something that your heart desires. Now, the reason why that is the huge focus of this reading is because your question is, what does happiness mean to me? And your rune is the Ingwas rune. Now, the Ingwas rune is related to the god Ing, but it's also related to fertility, masculinity, agriculture. It also talks about the seed that we plant in the inner world and inner growth. Now, one of the things here that I'm picking up that you need to understand, something that your energy is portraying here, is that happiness comes from constantly taking action in the outer world rather than the inner world. And the more that you push yourself to take action outwardly, I have to do. I have to always go at it. I have to be on my game all the time. In order to manifest, I have to take directed action each and every single day of my life. It's like you breathe skewed divine masculine energy. And I don't mean any offense by that. And I actually don't feel like I'm offending any of you. I feel like you guys are like, yeah, shit, I know that, Monica. How do I fix this? That's what we're going to be working on here. But we have to get to the root of this. So oftentimes the root of our concerns goes to some point in time where we felt like children. And this is not necessarily always about our childhood. Oftentimes it is. I'm not going to lie. Like I personally have found and believe that about 90% of the concerns that we have in our life can be traced back to something within our childhood. I believe about 7 to 8% of the remaining 10% belongs to past life influences, which we can also track back to our childhood. But that other 2 to 3% is what we're working with here that I can feel. And that is a time in which someone in your life has made you feel like a child for something that you wanted, something that you knew would make you happy. It was a kind of energy of being diminished by someone in your past. Now, this could have come in through a friendship, through a relationship. It could have come in a working situation in which you told your boss or your coworker, this is what I really dream about for myself and for my life. And they said, are you crazy? You can't do that. You can't have that. You can't be that. Do you know how hard that is? It's like you wanting to go to medical school and you have a political science degree and somebody going, are you like, really? You didn't do pre-med. Do you know how much work it's going to take for you to go to medical school with a poli-sci degree? And so you're like, okay, fine. Well, you know what? Obviously, what it takes for me to be happy is me working. It's me doing. It took this awareness of possibility and it turned it into almost a toxic exterior trait where your determination, whereas it's so, and I have to tell you guys, like the determination and the drive that I feel from your energy is it's so incredibly admirable, because you in a big way remind me of me when it comes to this channel, because I hit a point where my guides were like, you need a break. You need a vacation. You need to reset. You need to remember why you do what you do. And I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't. If I stop, then I'm giving up. If I stop, then all the forward progress will stop. If I stop, if I take a break, if I give myself the time and the rest that I need, then everything will fall apart and I will never find my happiness. And the truth of the matter is that I had to find my happiness internally. I couldn't find it in the outside world. And it was never, ever going to come from me pushing myself to the breaking point over and over and over again until I burned out and forgot why I'm here and doing what I do. So we're going to go back to that medical school example. When you get inspired by something in your life and you're like, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I need to do for my life, who is it to say that it's not right for you? Okay, I'm actually, this is funny. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee and then we're going to go into it. Okay, so I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. To the point that when David and I got married, he actually put in his vows that he agreed to watch and rewatch Grey's Anatomy as often as I wanted to. And he even agreed to growing his own ovaries because of watching Grey's Anatomy. Not even joking. Those are actually in his vows. Bless the man. We had a vow off. He won. I promised never to run out of the room gagging and screaming from his farts. He promised to grow an extra ovary. They laughed at his more than they laughed at mine. But I love Grey's Anatomy. There is an episode of Grey's Anatomy with all of the interns from the beginning, you know, Meredith and Alex and Christina and whatnot, and they now have their own interns. And there is a couple of episodes where there is a man who is in his 60s or 70s who is entering into the intern surgeon program at that age. And it's kind of like, are you crazy? Do you really think that you can do this? Now, I don't want you guys to like, if you're a Grey's Anatomy fan, I've literally just heard somebody be like, yeah, but he doesn't become a surgeon. I know that. That's not the point. The point is that he went back to school. He went back to school and did all of the stuff that he needed to do in order to be able to get into the intern program at his age. Now, he chose the path that was right for him based off of the situation around him, but it was right for him where he was called to do. He was, we could say, well past his prime. But he wanted to become a doctor, so he decided to become a doctor. Now, someone somewhere in your past, likely, because that's the energy, this is the analogy that I keep getting, told you that you could not do what you wanted to do, or told you not even that you couldn't do it, but just told you that's going to be so much work. It's going to take so much time. That's so saturated of this. And that it's like, do you understand how many hours? It's like that entrepreneurial belief that you have to constantly grind and grind and grind in order to make yourself build your business and create what you want and be successful. You have to put in X amount of hours or X amount of years of your life in the grind before you actually make anything of yourself. And as I'm speaking about these things, I'm actually watching this flame kind of shrink down, almost like you guys are shrinking into yourself and going, oh God, oh God, oh God. Here's the thing. When you were in the essence of the feeling of creating this, of experiencing it, when you were in just the purity of that in the very beginning of this reading, that flame was so strong, so steady, so sure. That is what you need to hold on to, is that inner knowing, because it doesn't matter what the outside world tells you. The outside world is going to tell you whatever it needs to say to slow you down, because someone else, somewhere else heard something about this, or this, and thinks they know, but they don't know you. They don't know you. That's the key here. So you are being called to ask yourself, what does happiness mean to you? Does it come from an exterior source? Does it make you need to constantly feel like you have to fight and work and you can't take a break and you can't do this? Or are you able to source it directly from inside yourself and then take that into your directed action outward? So we're going to get a look at your oracle cards here. These are specifically designed for that outside scenario that we've been talking about. So let's get a look at it. Footprints in direction. Oh my gosh, seriously. Like, it's like, I know where I want to go and I know what I want to do, but is it too saturated? Or can I do this? Like, you have all of these animal prints and then you've got the footprints. So this is like, do I belong in this area? Do I belong here? Can I do this? Because somewhere someone has said to you, like, this is not right for you. You can't do this. You can't find your happiness in that direction. So let's keep looking. 32 in confidence. Yeah. By earth and air, water and fire, let my confidence take light, burn higher. Seriously, we were literally talking about the candle flame, and now it's like dancing around. Like, yeah, guys, come on. It literally shook your confidence. It shook your confidence in your belief in your faith in yourself. 27, harmony. As I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. I mean, seriously, guys, like, this is all literally speaking just volumes about this. All right, let's look at the last one. 16, with joy. As I do will, so mote it be. Let joy and light radiate from me. So again, this comes back to your sense of confidence and feeling at peace and harmonious within yourself, in finding your happiness and following the path that really does make you happy, that really does bring in joy, that really does make you feel alive and true. It's like I can pray as often as I want, as much as I want, but will I ever really get to this point? Will I ever really find what I desire or live the life that I desire, that I envision for myself, that really makes me feel happy from the inside out? It's like you can cultivate all this inner happiness, this inner joy, this inner awareness, but as soon as you start interacting with the outside world, that harmony and peace becomes challenged because the direction that you've taken is one that there is this like glitch inside your brain that makes you feel less confident than you should be. Because what I feel from your energy is that you are deeply creative, divinely inspired, and you have a mission here in this world. And I feel like you know this. I don't feel like I'm telling you anything that you aren't aware of. I just feel like there's this kind of like, it just keeps coming in as like a glitch. Like, a glitch in the matrix. It's like a deja vu, they call it a glitch in the matrix. It's where somebody changes something. Someone created a glitch within your mind that made you think that you have to work harder than you do. And, there's so much going around the spiritual community about working smarter and not harder. And that's genuinely what I have started to do. Like, I know what my capabilities are, and I know how to attune myself to the energies of the moon phases. So I know which moon phases I'm more productive in, creatively and outwardly, and I know which ones call me more to come within and to slow down and to be more receptive and allow myself to recharge my energy. And this is something that as you learn what motions are right for you to take, you come into this essence of this harmonious confidence within yourself. This is where I'm going, and this is what is right for me. This is where I find my happiness. But it's that glitch of not allowing the outside world to actually come in and impact you. Yeah, we've got the Conqueror of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. And with the Knight of Cups to me is always going to be the card of passion. It's that card that says, live your most passionate life. Don't let your passionate life be a burden. You've got the 10 of Wands and then the Seeker of Coins, or the Page of Pentacles. So it's like you want to live this passionate, creative lifestyle, but you feel as though you can't get anywhere with it. It's like, I'm too naive, I'm too childish, I'm too young to do this, or I'm too old to do this, or this time frame has passed. There's just this naivety with the Seeker of Coins that I'm getting, where it's like your passions have become a burden upon you because of some situation. And whether that's an internal or an external situation, it depends on you. But what I'm getting here, and especially with the context of the reading, this was actually created externally. And I know a lot, I'm as a spiritual teacher, I will always tell you to go within. 100% of the time, I'm going to tell you to go within. Even in this situation, I'm going to tell you to go within. But here's the thing. When I wrote my first book, Chemistry with Kismet, my first step after that catalyst moment where everything changes, that first step is hindsight to live for the now. And so this is about you going back and seeing the root of whatever it is going on internally that is making you feel like the only way to happiness is to push yourself until you break. Looking back in hindsight, when you go and you find the root of it, it's okay for you to identify this root cause being someone else, because that can happen. And we have to realize that when we're in a state in which we are internally wounded in some way, shape, or form, and it happens all the time, there's no shame in this, because we all are internally wounded a lot of the time without us realizing it. You realizing it is one huge step in the right direction to begin with. So when you're in this state of internal wounding, and you go and you look at the wound, and then you say, where did this wound come from? Okay, now I found the source of this wound. What happened? How did this happen? Okay, somebody said this to me. Now you know where the source of it is. What was the result? The result was you believed this person instead of believing yourself. That's where this 10 of Wands comes in. You believed the person that this was naive, that it was impossible, that you couldn't do it, rather than believing the passion that came directly from within, that passionate fire, that emotional awareness that this is the path for me. This is the direction I'm meant to take. So we've got the Conqueror of Swords. So now you have the clarity. Once you do that, you cut through the middleman, you cut through all the bullshit. And now you have that clarity, that peace of mind that, hey, I know what is right for me and I can clear my mind. I can see the truth and I can elevate my awareness into a state where I know that when I take action, it is the right action to take because it is the action I'm meant to take. And we've got the Three of Cups on the back, which to me, the Three of Cups is community, collaboration, friendship, celebration. To me, this is like you harmonizing with the path that's right for you. You harmonizing your past and your future with your present self. You bringing everything together and being like, okay, I now have the clarity that I need so that I see that my divine masculine energy is meant to fuel me forward in an emotionally passionate, clear-cut way. And I will find my joy in doing what is right for me. But it's about balancing the heart and the mind out with that divine masculine energy and letting yourself get curious and ambitious rather than I have to go and go and go. It's like the difference between a battering ram against a brick wall and it's like a battering ram against a brick wall and then just somebody being like, why would I hit this brick wall over and over and over again? Why don't I just go around it? Like, it's like, okay, the brick wall is like right here. This is it. And for some reason, the battering ram keeps going right here in the middle. And then you come up to it and you're like, okay, well, I did this battering ram thing. You know, it's not working for me. Why don't I just go over here? Why don't I just go over here? It's that kind of energy where it's like, okay, but you weren't listening to your inner world. And because you weren't listening to the inner world, the outer world was saying, this is how you have to do it. And so you were doing it the way that everybody else said you needed to do and feeling childish and incapable because of it. And carrying that burden was never yours to carry. That was literally someone else's insecurities coming out to play because they were jealous that you had identified what your happiness was. And I don't mean to speak ill on another person because the likelihood is that they also have internal wounding where someone somewhere in their life has said, you can't do this, you can't fulfill this, or this is going to be too hard for you, or this is going to be the journey for you. And so that was the belief. And we perpetuate the same cycles in our lives and then we create those cycles within other people. And, you know, it's like constant back and forth, or like, I'm just hearing vicious cycle, but we have the ability to overcome it, to overrule it. We have speak truth. There's that clarity. See, you know what that I love about this is if you look at this Conqueror of Swords, he's got all of this like tangled around this sword in one area, but this speak truth is like spreading it out. You're taking divine truths from the higher realms and you're anchoring it down into this world. And you're doing this through whatever journey that you're on. I keep being brought to the medical field. I don't know why, but that it just keeps coming through so strongly. And it could be a metaphor. I think for a lot of you, it is a metaphor because, you know, we build up going into the medical field as like this end all be all. It's going to take forever. It's going to be so arduous. And sure, it can be, it is. For some people, it's so damn natural that it just flows easily. You may see whatever truth it is that you want to do in this life as being something that is so arduous. And then you find this clarity that, you know what, it really isn't that hard. It really is simply that easy. And you anchor that truth down. you spread it out so that it's not quite so congested, and bring it all together. And that's such a beautiful thing. With this Seeker of Coins, I'm also getting that you guys maybe want to check into astrology or the moon phases. And I know that I'm biased about that. Like I 100% I'm going to admit that I'm biased, but they're literally holding a tooth, a key, and then at the bottom, even though it's a coin, to me, it always looks like the moon. Like this card always looks like the moon. Like it's literally like if you want the key to how to speak your truth and how to move forward in a way where you're able to speak your truth, follow the moon phases and learn how your emotions are impacted by different things in different areas of life. Ask body. Literally attune yourself to your physical world. There's so much within the medical field that just keeps coming through. Like you guys may want to be yoga instructors. You may want to be breathwork instructors. Some of you may actually be looking at going into the medical field. You may be a medical intuitive as well. And so your body is going to tell you what your truth is. And in a big way, you know, I talked to one of my friends about spiritual alarm systems. I have this spiritual alarm system within my solar plexus chakra that literally, if I'm in the wrong energetic environment, my solar plexus will feel like somebody stabbed me and like I have to throw up. Never fails. It always does that when I'm in the wrong environment with the wrong people. Your body is this beautifully attuned to the divine vessel. And it will always tell you what your truth is. So if the outside world is telling you something and you start feeling this pressure, it's not a pressure because what they're saying is true. It's a pressure because what they're saying doesn't jive with you. Unless you're backwards. And I'm being brought to somebody who actually commented on my channel where their spiritual alarm system actually makes them feel sick with truth. Because everybody is different. So learn what your body's alarm system or indicator system is telling you so that you can move forward, because you're meant to create your own destiny. You're meant to flow forward in that. So moving forward, this is really saying plant the seeds internally first and don't allow the outside world to dictate what happiness means to you, but not just that, but how to get to your happiness, what the path is going to be, whether it's going to be hard, whether it's going to be easy. Don't allow the outside world to dictate that, because the outside world does not know your soul. It does not know your capabilities. It doesn't know you. You bring yourself to the outside world and you show them who you are. You show them your truth. You speak your truth. You create your destiny, and your body will tell you exactly how to do this. And no one in the outside world has the right to say, no, you're wrong, because it's your truth. Who's to say beyond you? No one knows you better than you. And that, again, I keep getting brought back to the medical field, because that's something that's so true when you're on a medical journey. When you are a patient and you are chronically ill and you know there's something being missed, and I'm speaking from personal experience, when you know there's something being missed, you know your body better than anyone else does. Speak your truth out. You can create health if you want to create health, but no one else knows you better than you. So trust yourself first and foremost, because whatever it was that started this journey that made you go too hard, too fast into the paint in some area, that is ready to be overhauled. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to tell you guys that once you understand, the best thing that you can do is try to understand how it's impacting you. And to that extent, that's why I'm glad that, really deeply grateful that Kay is doing this collab with me, because you guys can definitely go and check her understanding out. We've got 26 plain. A journey is indicated either physically or metaphorically, and your life will become more full. I actually really love that, because I literally was talking about you guys going to Tay's reading, and that seems to be one of those things. But we've got footprints in direction and a journey here. So when you start something new in your life, it really is a journey. It's a journey of discovery, of wonderment, of awareness, of growth, of change. This is about you really allowing yourself to experience a journey of fulfillment and happiness by standing very confidently in what you know is right. We've got 31 in thorns. And you know, the funny thing is I literally looked at this and I was like, that looks like a crown of thorns. And I didn't say it, but it says weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. And in the back of the card, you know what? I was going to say in the past for some reason. So this may be something that was literally a past energy that you were working through, that was the thorns in the plane. Like, this is how you're getting out of it. This is how you're moving into something more fulfilling, is by understanding the challenges from the past that may present themselves in the future. We have the card 28 with snake. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. Just be careful. So yeah, this is like, again, healing. I was getting the medical field. So this is really telling me that you guys are learning a new way forward in your life, whether that is a way of healing yourself or you're teaching other people how to heal in different ways, whatever it is, the journey to getting to where you want to be in life, it's always going to be the journey of how it has to go, but it doesn't have to be a challenge. It doesn't have to be something that is so hard to find abundance in and to harness within your life. It's not meant to be something that you constantly go in the outside world at. It's something that should be planted internally and allowed to really gestate and grow within yourself in order to come forward. And a lot of the times we don't understand that whenever we're manifesting, whenever we're choosing a new path and choosing a new direction and choosing a healing, anything, even, or an intuitive path or anything like that, anytime that we choose a new path in our life, the seeds that we have to plant and nurture have to be internally first. So really, the divine masculine energy is asking you to stop focusing on your external world for validation and for happiness and focus on the internal world, because the challenges that you find in the external world are nothing more or less than a reflection of the internal challenges that you're facing right now. So pile 1, this is literally all I'm seeing for you. It was like, as soon as I said that last message, everything went silent. So I'm going to leave it here. I want to make sure that you guys remember to check out Tarot with Taze, What You Need to Understand video. Link will be in the description box below to check her channel out and her video out. And I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. Thank you so much, Spirit. The inspiration for this and the messages that are flowing, I am so honored to be able to sit here with you and channel your messages forth into the collective and to bring these awarenesses out into the open so that they can heal it and move forward in the ways in which you're calling for them to do that will come from themselves. I am honored to be able to bring these truths to light and to work with you and bring forth messages for the collective and for the collective of pile 1 today. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you. All right. Pile 1, if this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, underneath the link to Tarot with Taze, you're also going to find a link to my second channel. It is Rising Sign Messages. And it was developed on this channel, and then I split it off into another one so that I could split the messages into smaller chunks per the moon stages. So if you guys are interested in going and flowing with the moon phases, please go check that out. I promise you I did not channel that just so I could plug my channel. I promise you guys. It sounds like it, but I didn't. There are also links to donate to my channel, links to book a personal reading, and to check out my author page on Amazon, where I have some self-help books and planetary retrograde guidebooks. Okay, pile 1, let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. I would love to get your feedback. I would love to hear from you. And I just want you guys to know I 100% believe in you. I know Spirit believes in you, and I know that you are here and destined to do great things. And it does not matter your age, gender, race, ethnicity, situation in life. with this much faith and belief in you behind, they're supporting you behind you, internally, externally, from the spiritual realm and all around you. I know that you have the capability of changing the world. All right, pile one, thank you again for being here. I love you all, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you chose the second card and runestone, the What Gives Me Great Joy, as well as the Hagalaz stone, this is your message about what you need to understand. Now, as a precursor to how we're going to do this, if you guys see any smoke coming on the screen or anything like that, I do have my sage burning, but I also felt really, really called to burning dragon's blood incense with you guys. And this is very unique to your piles. So I'm getting this need, like deep, deep need for energetic cleansing for this pile. And we're definitely going to get into that and why I'm feeling that coming from your energy. I don't feel as though what I'm saying is much of a shock at all to you. I feel like you guys have been doing this for a while and know that that's something that's in your awareness. So what I'm going to do, and I did something very similar with pile one, but for you guys, I have this white tea candle here, and Spirit and your guides really are calling for an intention here to be set to combine my energy with yours for cleansing and protecting. Now, because we're working with a white candle, you can literally infuse it with just about any kind of intention you want because of the purity of white. It's literally like a blank slate backdrop. And so that's what we're going to be doing here. And if some of what I just said, like the blank slate thing, is synchronistic, just take that as a sign that you're meant to be here and that this intention is meant to be set and we're meant to work together on this. So I want you guys to take a deep breath in, go in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now I want you guys to really focus on surrounding yourself with a bubble of white light. Now this white light bubble is going to essentially be your energetic cleanse and protection bubble. It's going to work simultaneously. But as I light the candle and infuse my own energy into the intention of this candle, I want you all to really focus on feeling cleansed and feeling protected. This is about stepping into the feeling of it 100%, allowing that into your awareness. How would you feel if you knew no matter what you did, you were always energetically cleansed and protected, that you had clear energy, that there was nothing clogging it up, nothing infiltrating it, there were no holes, gaps, tears, nothing like that. I want you to really feel how freeing, how uplifting that would be for you, that you did not have to feel as though you're constantly looking over your shoulder or having to double check this and double check that for your safety. This is about feeling that energy of I am 100% protected no matter what happens, no matter what comes at me. Really sit in that internally. Feel that relief, feel that release, feel that grounded centeredness within your entire being. Allow it to completely fill your being. Okay, now let's go ahead and light the candle. There we go. Okay, so the candle definitely like burst up and then kind of shrunk down a little bit. This tells me that there's a little bit of some latent doubts. It's more like you can believe it in the exact moment that you need to believe it. But as time goes by, it kind of wears on you. These patterns of beliefs wear on you. So I actually, like, the reason why is so clear to me. It's so like crystal clear to me with the combination of this card, what gives me great joy, as well as the Hagalaz rune. So the Hagalaz rune is the rune known as hail. Now, every time I work with the runes, the ways in which it comes through in the meanings, it really blends with the energies that I'm working with. With this one, the number one thing that I got was, you guys are my Murphy's Law pile. And I also got this energy. I felt the need to put my hair in a ponytail before I started doing your reading, which is pretty abnormal for me because I tend to like my hair down or in like a really loose, tied behind my back or like tied at the base of my neck or, tied off to the side and really loose and flowy. That's how I tend to like my hair so that it's not too tight. But when I was preparing for your pile, I was like, no, I've got to have it up out of my face as if I were about to do like some sort of really strenuous workout. But what I actually got from that is, I don't know if any of you guys have seen Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. Now, I haven't seen the series on Netflix, but I have seen the original movie with, I believe, you know what? I can't remember whether it was Christopher Lloyd or if it was Jim Carrey. I can't remember. You know what? Why don't you guys let me know down in the comment section below who was the antagonist in the movie Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events? Regardless, the point here is during that movie, there would be these series of things that would happen, and the eldest daughter, she would put her hair up, and it signified her stepping into her scientific hypothesis brain, where she would start looking at everything, and then she would formulate a hypothesis for different things that she could do, and then she would enact it, and it would work. It's like her problem-solving mode is, I'm going to put my hair up, now I'm going to solve all the problems that I need to solve. Now, with the Hagalaz rune and it being hail, it also talks about a massive level of destructive force. It talks about crisis, chaos, what can go wrong will go wrong kind of energy. If you think about the way that hail works, hail defies odds. It falls in the middle of summer when it's really hot out, and it is a very, very destructive force. It is quite similar to the energy of the tower. So for you guys in particular, with Hagalaz coinciding with what gives me great joy, and we're focusing on your outer world, this is telling me that there is something that you believe based off of external circumstances and situations that is actually perpetuating the situations to continue happening, that in order to experience joy, you also have to experience destruction. It's kind of that, it's like that spiritual notion that in order to have true happiness, you have to sacrifice something that brings you happiness in order to bring in something that brings you even greater happiness. To a certain extent, I understand the need to give certain things up, but it should never feel like an emotional, like heart-centered sacrifice. And you don't always have to sacrifice in order to receive. And that's something that I'm going to stick by no matter what. But there's this belief that joy and pain are intertwined. And now I'm being brought to something that happened to me in my childhood so that I can actually help you guys understand, how this can appear. When I was 10, my father passed away. He had a massive heart attack, and I literally witnessed it. It was one of those moments in life that changes the ways in which you perceive the world, but it also changes the ways in which you perceive yourself, emotions, the whole 9 yards. So for me, my dad was a raging alcoholic. He was a drug abuser, an alcoholic. He was a violent alcoholic. He yelled, he screamed, he threw stuff around the house. He threatened my mom. He threatened us kids. Like it was really, really traumatic. It was really terrible. But at the end of his life, he had been sober for 15 days. And I had this feeling of hope. It wasn't necessarily joy, but it was definitely hope. Hope that life was going to get better. Hope that life was going to improve. And so when he died, I started associating hope with destruction. So in order to experience hope, I would expect destruction. So if I would ever allow myself to truly like step into that energy of hopefulness, my subconscious mind was sitting in a state of, when is the other shoe going to drop? What is going to go wrong? Who is going to attack me? What is going to be taken from me? And it really, really skewed my ability to tap into the purity of the feeling of hope. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys this story is because something within your life is similar in experience with an outer experience that has actually impacted your ability to fully step into the energy of joy. And a lot of this, I feel like, has to do with the area surrounding trusting the decisions that you make and trusting your own powers and your own magic and your own abilities. So you may be someone who has premonitory visions or prophetic messages or dreams or anything like that, that could feel very exciting. It could feel very exhilarating. And now I'm getting tingles on my legs. So exhilarating is a really good word for it. You feel exhilarated whenever you make a prediction and the prediction comes true. And then you have to decide, am I going to share certain predictions? Over time, you may have experienced sharing predictions where someone has challenged it because it's like you decided to either share your predictions and it caused destruction and chaos worse than what you expected. So you couldn't actually feel any joy in your predictions. Or alternately, your predictions would come true and you wouldn't share it with anybody because there was no joy in them. It's like being able to see mass destruction. I'm getting like a Nostradamus kind of energy from you guys. But Spirit wants you and your guides want you to be aware that these things were never meant to be correlated to each other. The things that go wrong in life, the destructions that happen, whether it's on a grand scale or something smaller, it was never meant to be correlated with your ability to feel and experience joy. And that can be really hard to hear and really hard to understand, particularly when you go through situations where you actually witness something prior to it happening and there is a loss of life. It's really difficult because how do you feel joy surrounding your gifts? How do you decide whether to step fully into your gifts when it comes with this hindrance? It comes with this sense of crisis. It comes with this sense of constant tower moments. And then what do you do with them? And I've been there before. And I want you guys to understand that this is coming through in the way that it's coming through because I do understand it on a personal level. It can be hard to witness things occurring in the outside world that you don't know whether you should mention, that feel like it's just destruction. Destruction and joy were never meant to be correlated. Like that energy in and of itself seems to be so intricately tied to you guys. And that's why I feel this need to protect and cleanse you. It's almost like you're trying to protect your inner child from witnessing some of the things that you witness through your dream state or through your visions. And if you were to stop protecting your inner child from this, but instead incorporate your inner child's energy, and it's, guys, I'm literally looking at my computer screen right now, and it's 3:33 p.m. on 11/22/2022. Like, ones, twos, and threes are really strong for you guys. I just want you to know that. These are really basic foundational principles then. To me, that's what it's saying. There's this energy of letting your inner child start interacting with you and interacting with your gifts, because it will help to elevate your gifts out of this state of feeling like they are doing nothing but bringing harm. They're doing nothing but opening the door to destruction. And the things that bring you joy aren't meant to create destruction in your life. It's just meant for the purity of the experience. All right, let's take a look at the cards and get just a little bit more information. I feel some resistance from you guys, kind of like, I don't want to talk about this. I expect, it's almost like you came here expecting me to tell you that someone was putting a hex on you, that someone was cursing you, that you had to watch out for this, and this. And especially with the Hagalaz rune and the crisis energy, like, that's something that I feel like was an expectation, particularly for the reasoning, like with me having to do the dragon, or not having, but feeling really called to lighting the dragon's blood and having the sage going with the protection and the cleansing. It's almost like you think that this is coming from an exterior source because its origin point was an exterior circumstance. But it's not necessarily that way anymore. It's not that way anymore. I just, like, literally, it got slammed into me. That necessarily word should not have been in there. And your guys were really firm with me on, like, Monica, get this shit straight. Necessarily is not in there. It was never meant to be attributed outside of yourself. And what you're doing is you're actually perpetuating more fear in this state. And I've been there. And I've actually created destruction in my own life because I was so afraid of someone else's destructive tendencies that I created the destruction out of my own fear. And I actually hindered my ability to step into a state of joy along my journey because I was so afraid of someone else's actions. But the thing is this is never meant to be about someone else's actions. It's about the origin point of the exterior circumstance that is preventing you from feeling joy. And because you are preventing yourself from feeling joy, you may actually feel like, I don't even know what brings me joy. I don't even know what I want to do. I don't know how to feel that. So how do I know what it is that brings me that? And that's absolutely okay. I want you to know that's absolutely okay. When you go through situations that really make you correlate the two together, you don't want to associate anything with that feeling because that time, that one specific time, whatever it was in your past, that one time, that experience got correlated with this positive emotion. And now you have a positive and a negative attached to each other. And you have to learn how to see them as two separate things in your life. So let's get some more information. Yeah, psychometry and sensitivity. This is literally what it's like. It's that it would be like me saying, if I read runes, then this happens. Like, and I don't even want to throw it out there, but it would be like that. So that anytime I would go near runes or touch runes, I would actually perpetuate the fear. I would perpetuate the destruction. You're doing this in a way, and I hate to be this blunt with you, but you're literally doing this in a way that is preventing you from stepping into a joyful existence. And the collective energy here, that the purpose of this collective reading that Spirit and the guides is literally to experience joy on a day-to-day basis. So this is something that your energy, it's almost like this is the last hurdle before your entire life shifts for you, pile 2. And that's a really great thing. But understanding the way that this sensitivity works is going to be the key to overcoming it so that you can actually move beyond it. It's understanding that you can choose one way or the other. You can choose to continue to attach an inner perception to an exterior or outer situation. And in that way, you're actually perpetuating this cycle over and over and over again. Or you can end it and say, you know what? I'm choosing a different path, a different purpose. I'm choosing to use my sensitivity in a different way. I'm going to use my sensitivity and my gifts and my powers to make the decisions that bring me joy, not the ones that make me feel fearful. And it can be hard to do that, to take that first step. But the second you take that first step, every other step becomes easier. And then you actually start being able to see all of this destruction that was caused and how your role was in it. You take responsibility for your role in it. Not just that, but you also are able to see how you can take all of those moments and help yourself and help others with it. That's kind of how I do it. Like, hey, I'm not a perfect person. I have made mistakes in my life. I have gone the wrong direction. I've gone down the wrong path. I have trusted the wrong people. I've perpetuated a lot of things in my own life, and I take 100% accountability. You know, I was in an abusive marriage for 8 years. I chose to stay in said abusive marriage. I own that. I own my role in that. And when I started taking accountability, that's when those moments of destruction from that core origin source ended. This is helping you learn that once you step up and you say, okay, this was my role in it, even if there is someone else who has another side of it, another role in it, who really was not good for you, you're now showing that you know your place, your role, your decisions, and you step further into who you are and learning your own pathway forward. So let's see what else. We have 34 with strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I am power. We have 8 with destiny. All that I shall need to know as I walk shall now be shown. And then we have 1 with love. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. Yeah. Okay. So this is telling me, and this could be in terms of romantic relationships, particularly for those of you that resonated with me saying, you know what, I was in an abusive relationship for 8 years and I take full responsibility for staying. I made the decision to stay, so I own that. Okay. I own that. But this is saying that you have the ability to see the love that brings you joy, to see that joy is your destiny, to see that you have this strength and this resilience and this resolve and this sensitivity within you because of all that you've been through. And now with the destiny card, there's also that same energy of, hey, do you not see how you could take this gift that you have that has felt as though you have to fear it or anything like that, you know, that prophetic gift, you can use it to bring you into a state of more love, to bring you into your destiny, to where you are meant to be. And it doesn't have to be through destruction, because you can literally leave that time frame behind. You don't have to keep walking through that if you're ready to move beyond. Look, we've got the Lovers. There are 2 paths ahead. Be true to yourself. And 23 with the Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Perfect. So quite literally, and on the back, we have the card 10 with Fire. Let go of emotional upheaval and embrace the renewal of the present. And that's literally like this Hagalah's rune, the hail, the energy of frozen and being frozen and iced out from your gifts or from anything in life, from really experiencing joy, or from even being able to identify where you find joy in your life and how it feels for you. This is showing you that you can choose a new path. You can choose the destiny and the way that you move forward. You have this sensitivity within you that has been bred from all the pain. And it's actually a really beautiful thing. Even though it might feel heavy, it's not. It's actually, well, okay, I don't want to say it's not heavy. But what I am saying is, sorry guys, I had a notification on my computer. It's more along the lines of, even though it may feel heavy in the beginning, when you step into it, when you allow yourself to do it, when you are true to yourself and your path, and you know that you are moving in a state of love of yourself and love of others, and, you know, just love of what you do, you will be able to finally use this fiery nature, use this fire to melt the iciness, to melt through that frozen energy of fear. It's kind of like the more that you allow this bubble of protection and cleansing to fill you, and then you allow your inner child out to show you that your gifts and your wisdom and your strength and your sensitivity are all a part of your destiny, that you have the wisdom that you need to move into your destiny. When your inner child is allowed out to show you how to actually navigate your gifts, the destruction in the tower moments will stop. The crisis mode will stop, and you will step further into a state of happiness and joy. But you have to take those steps to do that. And you have to recognize when you're attaching meaning to something outside of yourself versus looking internally. And this, again, this is where Tay's reading will come in so helpful and handy, because she's going to be able to show you what it is internally that you're needing to truly see. And when you actually see that inner knowing, that inner understanding, that inner awareness, that's when you step fully into the path that you're meant to step into, the destined point in your life where you step in joyfully and say, I am going to experience joy every day of my life because I'm meant for it. And nothing in the outside world is going to stop it, because the outside world actually loves and supports me. So the outside world supports me living a joyful existence. And then you transition out of this state of being afraid because of all these moments from the past, and you step completely into where you're meant to be. This is wonderful. Thank you. You guys have had some and I couldn't tell. There was this mixed energy of your guides, okay, get this channeled message out. And at the same time, can I really handle any more? What if, and I don't, yeah. Seven of Wands. You guys have really been defending your position for a really long time, defending yourself, defending your beliefs, defending your heart, defending your place in this world, defending just constantly on the defense. And when you're constantly on the defense, it gets tiring. It gets exhausting. You get hypersensitive. You don't want to keep being the strong person. You don't know how to keep being the strong person. And it's like the light in life gets sucked out of you completely, and you don't know how to find that spark anymore. We've got the 8 of Coins and the Ruler of Swords, or the King of Swords. So this is, again, with the butterflies and this talking about a period of transition. Yeah. And then we've got the 5 of Swords. You know, I had you guys do some deep breathing when we started. This is literally this constant on the defensive, because you're just it's like no matter which way you turn, you're expecting the knife to come at you. No matter which way you turn, you are expecting to have to constantly defend yourself, defend your beliefs, defend what you know, defend what you've built, defend all of this. You've actually perfected the art of being defensive. And there is clarity coming to you now about how to soften. It's not about being defensive anymore. It's not about being hard anymore. It's understanding that you've been strong for long enough, and now it's time to open your heart to unconditional love and true joy. In order to be able to identify what gives you great joy, you have to be able to identify joy within yourself. And until you allow yourself to feel it, to experience it, you won't know. It's like this hypersensitivity energy of I just don't want to get hurt again. And that's understandable. Absolutely. Look, we have the observer. It's about seeing the truth and reclaiming your power from the past. And this is a big thing. This is something that we have this tendency to do without realizing that we're doing it. On the back, we have share wisdom. You see, we have this tendency to do this thing where we go through these experiences and we are too ingrained in the experiences and the emotions to be able to fully be the observer. When you can start observing other people's situations and then you can actually see how it correlates to your own life, that's one of the reasons why I channel the way that I do, because it helps give you another perspective from someone who has a similar situation so that you can see something on another level. When you are able to step into the observer role of these situations and you can see where you're giving your power away, where you're caving to fear, where you're caving to this belief that anyone has the power over you, you realize the level of power that you're giving away to other people to dictate what you can and cannot do, who you can and cannot love, what you are capable, even just what makes you feel a certain way. When you recognize this pattern, that's when you are like, no way, not going to do this anymore. I'm going to step into my power. I'm going to reclaim my power. And I'm going to be the observer who sees what could happen and then circumvents it because I'm going to move in a state of love. Now, you guys may be seeing ravens. You may be seeing crows. You may be seeing squirrels. And I say that because I'm staring like this direction. If I look this direction in my office, and I'm not pointing at you guys, please don't take offense to this. I'm literally like pointing at where I'm looking. There's a window outside my office or in my office on the wall over here. And I literally looked out it and I can see my shed out this window. And I swear I saw a raven sitting on it, but there was nothing there. So to me, that is telling me that you guys may be seeing ravens, or you may be called to raven as a spirit animal, which is a lot about that sharing wisdom. It does also talk about seeing beyond, being an observer, witnessing, and then sharing the wisdom of what you have witnessed. The King of Swords sees clearly, no matter what. So you go through this transition of being like, okay, I decide my destiny. I choose my destiny, and I'm going to use my gifts and use them in a different way. So I have the gift of prophetic dreams and prophetic visions. And for a while there, I left it very open-ended and I picked up a lot. And after the Ukrainian war kicked off and I realized that I was literally getting images of it for over a year, I decided that I wanted to use my gifts in a different way. And so I use my gifts to help the collective. I use my gifts to help myself. I use my gifts to help me navigate through life in a way that is healthy for me and for others, that shows everyone what their strength is, how to step into their destiny, how to harness these things within them. This is how I use my gifts. This is something that Spirit is helping me share with you so that you can learn how to perfect it without having to always be on the defensive. You don't need to defend what you see. You don't need to defend what you believe. You need to step back into this observational role in your life and be like, okay, I see how everybody else is, but I'm not going to give into this 5 of Swords, 7 of Wands energy anymore. I'm not going to perpetuate that cycle. I'm going to trust that I am on my divine destined path, that I am moving from a state of love, that I am strong, I am resilient, I am sensitive enough to know when to move and when not to move. And I know without a doubt that I am a force to be reckoned with. And so I'm going to take this hail rune and go, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to look at it as a crisis state anymore or a hardened state. I'm going to say, I am a force to be reckoned with. My gifts are a force to be reckoned with. I decide that I will move forward in this way, that I will no longer go through these horrible upheavals and tower moments that don't serve me anymore, but I will step into a state where I am a force to be reckoned with out of sheer joy. I'm going to experience joyful life every single day, no matter what, and not a single person is going to be able to tell me otherwise. and you can tell me, well, look at this and this and this that's going on in the world. I get that. I can see what's going on, but I am wise enough to know that I own my power. I own my gifts, and I am able to determine how to use them. And you don't get to dictate how my gifts are going to be used at any given point in time. When you do this, you're now understanding how the outside world has for too long impacted the way that you use your gifts, the way that you share your wisdom, and how standoffish you can be about that. Because, no offense, guys, but when you are in this state, you can have a strong tendency to hurt other people. And I don't say that in a way that is accusatory. I say that because, and if you're new to my channel, you haven't heard me say it, but if you're not new, you guys know hurt people. And I know that because I was a hurt person who hurt people. And I own that, but I don't do that anymore. So for all the pains and the anguish that you've been through in your life that have made you feel like you have to constantly defend yourself all over the place, understand that spirit comes in to protect you 100% of the time. Understand that you are able to cleanse and clear all of this out simply by making a choice to own your own energy, to own your own gifts, to own your own power, and to no longer give in to these lower level fears. When you step into that level of clarity, that's when you have this wisdom that you are ready to share with the world. All right, pile 2. This was incredible. I am amazed by you guys for all you have endured, all that you have gone through, and the fact that you are still here and still fighting and still moving forward. I truly, truly believe that the fight for you is now ending and that you are learning how to step more fully into joy and love and softness and receptivity and divine feminine energy. And that's very beautiful. Please don't forget to go and check out Tay's video. The link is in the description box. It's going to get a little bit noisy, so I'm going to close it up here. I want to say thank you so much for being here, for this reading, for your energy. Thank you to your guides and mine for facilitating the connection between us. Thank you as well to Spirit. Spirit, thank you so much for helping me to share these messages and help the collective of Pile 2 understand a little bit more about themselves and help them understand that they are connected to a greater whole, that they are meant to find this clarity and to soften, and that they are protected and loved by you. So thank you so much. I'm always, always so honored and humbled to work with you. So thank you, Spirit. Okay, Pile 2. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. In the description box below, you're going to find plenty of links. There are links to my second channel, Rising Sign Messages, where you can flow with the moon and check in on how to work with the moon and really come into your own personal energy a lot better, while also finding pieces of the collective that resonate deeply with you on a personal level. There are links to donate to my channel, to book a personal reading, and a link to my author page on Amazon. Definitely check those out. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. Let other Pile 2s know, like, I'm not going to defend myself anymore. I trust Spirit to protect me, whatever you want to say, but really band together. All right, Pile 2, you guys are incredible. I love you. Thank you again, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. So if you chose the third rune, the I was, or rune, as well as the card, what kinds of routines or habits limit my experience of everyday life? This is what you need to understand about your current situation. Before we get started, I did want to mention, if you guys see the smoke, which I can actually see it on the camera, so we may have a little bit of technical issues just because of the processing. I am burning sage during these readings because I don't normally open up to this much outside energy when I do my readings. If you guys know me well, you know that for the most part, I tend to dig deeply into the person that I'm reading for or the group that I'm reading for, rather than looking at the outside situation. So this is kind of me opening up to a lot more energies than I normally do, I tend to make sure that I keep it as clear as I possibly can. I want to make sure that I am as clear of a channel as possible. Now, I didn't feel the need to explain it quite that much with the other piles, but I am getting some quite interesting energies from you guys that I can't wait to dig into. Before we do that, we are going to do an intention candle. This intention candle for you, pile 3, something that I am feeling deeply is needed, and especially seeing how it just kind of slammed into my consciousness, is getting out of your own head and getting out of your own way. And I mean that with as much love and adoration for you guys as I possibly can, because you guys are usually my very spiritual pile, but that doesn't mean that on this very spiritual journey that we're all on, we can't be our own worst enemy. And this is also a theme that we've seen on my channel over the course of the past year or so, where this kind of energy pops back up. So, and here we've got the sage really kicking in. So please take that as a huge clear-cut sign from spirit. Like this is a big thing that needs to be cleared out. So I want you guys to focus on how you feel. Focus on your body. Focus on how it feels to breathe in and out. Focus on how it feels to be sitting where you're sitting or standing where you're standing. Focus on everything tactile, what your 5 senses are picking up, rather than the realm of your mind and the realm of spirit right now. This is about getting you grounded back into your body so that we can get you out of your mind and into the physical for a little bit here. As you do that, I want you to really focus on your body. This is going to sound really, really random, but I want you to put one of your hands on either an elbow or a knee or something that does not have to do with a chakra. I mean, granted, we have chakras literally everywhere, but this is more about feeling a part of your body that you don't associate with some sort of energy center that needs to be healed, needs to be balanced, needs to be cleared. That's why I was showing someone like literally like grabbing an elbow, kind of like this, like just grab your elbow and really like sink into the feeling of holding on to your elbow here. Close your eyes and think about what it feels like to be able to touch your elbow, what your elbow, like the nerves in your elbow are feeling as your hand hits it, and the actual sensation of that interaction. And you can do this with other parts of your body, obviously, but we're aiming at things that are not associated with Kundalini energy, and it's not associated with any kind of core chakra energy centers. We want to focus on the tactile, the physical body here. So really, really feel into your body, into the sensations of being in a physical vessel. And as you do that, think about coming back to yourself, back to your physical world, to the everyday things here. Okay? And as we do that, I'm going to light this candle. Okay. So as I was lighting the candle, I did get this kind of hesitancy to actually have it didn't want to light right away, but as soon as it did, it was very strong, very firm, very tall. And it is still, for the most part with your pile, especially with the other piles, the light kind of shrunk down really quickly. And even though like we're working with tea candles and that happens, it happened relatively rapidly after lighting it. With yours, it's been a kind of slower, like burn down into it. But even that, I can see the flame like reaching up. So this energy of reconnecting with your body is really, really important for you at this time. So what I want to talk about here it might actually be a little bit surprising to you guys, but with the I was rune, for the most part, with all the studying that I've done, I know that it can come in a multitude of different ways and energies and meanings. One primary one is enlightenment, because it's associated with the yew tree, and the yew tree is also associated with Odin and him going to I think it's the Yggdrasil tree. Yggdrasil. I'm not really sure if I'm saying that right, but it was when he received the wisdom of the runes. So in a way, it's also about sacrifice. It's about the things that we give up in order to receive certain wisdom, certain enlightenment, certain awareness. It is also associated with the death card in tarot, which the death card, if you guys are familiar with tarot, the death card is not about a physical death as much as it is about a perception change, a lifestyle change, an awareness change. It's about the things that have to fall away in order for our truest self to come out. We bury our true selves in so many things. But along this journey of enlightenment that we go on, we can find ourselves falling into these high energy, high frequency routines, and we forget what it's like to be human. And this isn't a judgment. I've done this myself. This is not a negative judgment on the world. It's not a negative judgment on spirituality. What this is an observation that I have had throughout my journey, in which, and I was talking to Odessa about this just today, about how her and I both hit this point on our journey where every time we would watch TV or watch a movie or anything like that, we would learn a spiritual lesson. And it can be very frustrating being in that state, because you just want to enjoy something that you used to enjoy. But here you're learning all these spiritual lessons. But then you get to a point where you realize that everything in the world is a spiritual lesson. And so it doesn't matter whether you're watching TV or not. You're learning as you're going. Now, with this pile in particular, it says, what kinds of routines or habits limit my experience of everyday life? What I get from you guys is this sense of kind of not fully trusting yourself and your ability to alchemize your own pain without needing to get validation or needing to check in with a spiritual coach, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual guru, that what you're doing is okay, that how you are acting, reacting in life is okay. So I'm actually going to use Aaron Doughty as an example, because he's he's just the easiest one for me too, because I've interacted with his stuff before. So Aaron Doughty talks a lot about vibrations, raising your vibrations, emotions, and how they impact your vibrations, and manifestation, and all of this hoopla and whatever. Would you guys believe me if I told you that he actually sits at home and watches TV? Because he does. He does. And here's the thing. When you go through a spiritual awakening, there is a time frame in which you don't want to engage in the normal everyday things. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You don't want to watch TV. You don't want to listen to music. You don't want to do it. You want to be silent. You want to read books. You want to study. You want to engage in all of this divination, higher realms, awareness, all of this stuff. You want to do that. And so it gets so consuming. But you get to a point of burnout when you go on a spiritual journey, if you're not listening to your guidance. And this is not for everybody at all. This is not a universal thing that I'm trying to say. This is what I'm getting from your energy. That on this journey, you just it was going from one extreme to the other. And I'm actually being brought to myself back in 2020, where it got to a point where I could not listen to lyrical music anymore. I couldn't do it. Either the lyrics of the songs would trigger me, trauma trigger me, or they would make me feel paranoid. Some of them made me feel paranoid. Some of them would make me feel as though I couldn't connect to this world. And I started feeling lost. I had zero desire to watch TV anymore. And I used to be a person who watched TV incessantly, all the time, over and over and over again, watch the same shows. I couldn't read a book, and I love reading. It just like everything that I loved just fell away from me suddenly. It was like I woke up one morning and it was gone. And granted, it wasn't quite like that, but it felt that way. And I'd get frustrated because I would try to go back. I would try to go back, and I would try to, watch TV for a while. And sometimes I can. I actually can a lot more now. But I would try and go back, and I would turn something on, and I'd be like, this isn't what I want. And then I would change TV shows or streaming apps or whatever. And inevitably I'd find myself on YouTube, either watching pick a cards because I could feel and hear spirit, or in silence because I could feel and hear spirit, or in a meditative state, listening to binaural beats or solfeggio frequencies or something like that, because it made me feel more connected to spirit. And then I hit a point where I was like, I just want to be normal again. And I don't think that we can ever go back to being normal. I really don't. But I think that we can find a way to blend these together. So if you have interacted with spiritual teachers, this going back to Aaron Doughty, spiritual teachers or gurus such as Aaron Doughty, Victor Odo, who else? Joe Dispenza. There's a multitude. There's a multitude out there. I mean, it's everywhere. I do not interact with them anymore because we all have our own paths, and their paths were not mine. They have very strong opinions about how to do this spirituality thing, how to walk with spirit in this life. I found that the divination community is rather different. And the contrast between the two can make it very confusing. How do I develop a routine when everyone talks about developing routines, but nobody really gives any guidance on the routines? What habits do I need to really develop, and which ones are really hindering me? And in a way, as much as I will say meditation is a wonderful tool, it really is a wonderful tool. Too much meditation is actually, to me, a hindrance, because you spend so much time there, you do not connect with this body that you're in. You don't connect with your surroundings that you're in. For me as a mom, I spent about 1.5 years there where I was literally a stay-at-home mom, but I was so in the higher realms and learning this and learning that. And I was, my mind, my consciousness was not here in the present moment. It was in the past, in the future, in the what ifs, all over the place. I was so stuck in my mind and trying to learn from all these people who seem to have it all together that I never realized that none of us actually have it together. So I was in these routines and these habits that everybody said that I needed to be in, but I never really thought about what I needed to be in, what made me feel right, what made me feel grounded, what made me feel connected to spirit. This is what you're coming into. This awareness that as much as you can interact with people in the outside world, interact with spiritual gurus, interact with these spiritual texts, even here on my channel, I can give you guidance. I can give you awareness. I can give you confirmation. I can make you feel as though you are seen, heard, felt, understood. But I can't give you a day-to-day what you need for you, because you are unique to yourself. And when you come to this awareness, this enlightenment of how special and unique you really are, you come to this point of being able to ask yourself, okay, this is who I am. This is my own uniqueness. So how can I take all of the things that I have learned from everybody else along this journey and blend it in with what makes me me on a unique and individual basis, and really, really create this safe, true, authentic environment within myself and my life that is in alignment with what my spirit needs. So what kind of routines and habits can I establish to truly experience this everyday life? So for instance, for me, something that I have established as a routine and a habit is I spend time cleaning my house. I will make the bed every morning. I get up out of bed and I make my bed. I will clean up here and there. I will spend time with my dogs. I will spend time with my cats. I will spend time with my kids and with my husband. I make it a point to do what you would think of as menial everyday tasks in order to remain present in my everyday life. So I no longer slip into this state of, well, my consciousness is really high and I am interacting with all of these spiritual beings in all these different realms, all these star seed energies and all of this, but I'm negating being a mom. I'm negating being a wife. I'm negating my role here that my soul has chosen to be in order to interact with all these higher level beings. Now, this doesn't mean that you're the same. I mean, if you're a mom or a dad or anything like that, you may have gone through this yourself. This is a normal thing, a normal part of the process. But engaging in everyday tasks, everyday activities reminds us that we came here on a soul level. We came here to this world, to this existence, into this incarnation in order to experience life from the lens of this human body, this human existence. To negate that, to throw away everything that it means to be human in order to be a spiritually enlightened being, is actually to diminish the experience of everyday life, because we're no longer seeing through the lens of being human. And this outer awareness that, well, to be spiritual means I have to meditate constantly and I have to eat a specific way and I can't do this and I can't do that. I can't watch TV and I can't listen to this kind of music and I can't listen to that kind of music. And I'm doing this collaboration with Tarot with Tay, and I would love to hear her take on someone telling her what music she can and cannot listen to in order to be a spiritual being. I would absolutely love it. Because when she goes off about the audacity of these things, it really makes me giggle, because I find her so incredibly empowering. As a channel for spirit channels through the lens of our awareness, through the filter of who we are. If we forget who we are and we fail to be ourselves, then we are not able to fully channel spirit, because we're trying to be something we're not. And there's nothing in the outside world that should ever dictate what routines and what habits you should be in order to be quote unquote enlightened or quote unquote spiritual. That's not how this works. That is not how this journey works. That is not how this experience of life works. And that is not what it means to be human, humble, nor spiritual. That is what it means to be in a hierarchical society with a lot of control issues and a lot of opinions and a lot of judgments. And to me, it's just pure narcissism. It is spiritual narcissism. It's literally saying, if you don't do this, then you are not this. And it's no different than the church saying that if you engage in astrology or divination, then you are damned. It's no different to me. Okay, I have to step away. If you guys watched my Let's Talk impromptu messages, I am about to get into my TV preacher energy here and get off my soapbox. of what not to listen to in the outside world. And I knew this was going to come in. Here's the thing. As I was preparing for this pile, I almost broke down into tears, and I want to do it now. Pile 3, if you want to read a book, read a book. If it's a children's book or a young adult novel, or it's a trashy, smutty romance novel, if it's erotica, if it is, some like true crime, it doesn't matter. If you're drawn to it, you're drawn to it for a reason. If you're interested in it, there is a reason behind it. Everything in this world, and I have said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Literally everything in this world is a tool for our soul's growth. Even to the realm of spirituality is nothing more or less than a tool for our soul's growth. If you want to read a book, if you want to take a break and go watch a TV show, if you want to order dinner in from someplace, stop beating yourself up because someone somewhere said that does not constitute being spiritual. Don't define who you are and what you are experiencing every single day of your life based off of someone else's lens of awareness. This is about your lens of awareness. This is about what makes you feel human. And feeling human is the reason why we're here. We are here to grow on a soul level, and we chose this existence, this lens, and this vessel to do so, which means we chose to be human and experience humanity. If we negate that experience, then we are not being true to what our souls have chosen and why we're here. And pile 3, you so strongly have the ability to choose what brings you joy and say, you know what, this brings me joy. And if it brings me joy, then it is good for my soul. Now, please don't take this too far, because I can literally hear the naysayers in my head going, yeah, well, what do you say about the people that are getting high all the time? Or what do you say about the people that are, drinking themselves under the table? I say, if that's what their soul has chosen to experience in this life, then perhaps their soul has chosen to experience that in this life so that they can overcome it, so that they can come and do what all these gurus are doing, teaching what they know from what they know. Sorry, guys, I was an alcoholic for about 5 years. I literally was drinking a vat of wine a day. I quit cold turkey. I smoked for years of my life. I started smoking when I was 12 years old and quit periodically throughout my life. When I was pregnant with my kids, when I was married to my ex-husband, started again. I smoked and smoked and smoked, and then I quit smoking and I started vaping, and that was even harder to quit. And I still quit that. So don't try to negate anything that is what this human experience is. For you, pile 3, and I feel like I'm not even talking to my subscribers. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who came in and just wants to argue for the sake of arguing. And I do know someone who likes to come to my channel and do that. I negate it right away and just am like, okay, we're not doing this because I don't like that energy on my channel. But regardless, for you, pile 3, this is asking you to rethink the things that you're doing, not because they're inherently wrong. It's not, I don't get the sense that you guys are doing anything wrong. I get the sense that you are framing your reference of what it means to be spiritual and what it means to be evolved and to vibrate at a high frequency based off of what someone else somewhere else has said you have to do. You need to do what is right for you, what feels good for you, what makes you experience everyday life in a way in which you are not escaping your life for the higher realms, but you are living in both and experiencing both. Odin didn't hang from the tree so that he could forever be in that in-between realm of learning and gaining wisdom. He did that so that he could gain the wisdom and then come back and share it with the world. We hang in that in between so that we can come back and experience everyday life. This is really important for you. I feel like this is so important because this is a huge shifting time for you to come back to your body, to come back to center, to come back to your life, and to start experiencing things and actually figure out what it is that you enjoy again. Figure out whether you still enjoy reading those books, whether you still enjoy watching those TV shows, because when you start allowing yourself to get into that state, you start trusting yourself more because you see that you can still advance and progress spiritually while engaging in the things that you truly enjoy. You can still go out to the movies. You can still go out on a date. You can still do this and you can still do that. And you can still be a spiritual person. You don't have to be a nun or a monk or anything like that. Because unless that's like the true blue path that you're on, you're not meant to do that in this life. Be true to yourself. All right, so let's get a look at a bigger picture here. So we have Grace, card 20. Grace, blessings come to me, and to set me free. That right there, giving yourself the grace to come back and to experience life. You guys, I literally did a reading called What's Your Secret Sauce? And it was inspired by the fact that I didn't want to eat McDonald's again. And that's what my kids always choose when we eat out. And you know what? When they choose to eat out at McDonald's, I still eat it. Why? Because I don't want to order somewhere different. I don't want to cook because I'm too tired, or I want to engage in these special little moments with my family. And because it's a staple in the United States. And you know what? I went through a phase where I really loved greasy cheeseburgers. And now I remember why I don't. It's like a reminder every time. But does that make me any less spiritual? I took something that I didn't, I literally got inspired by McDonald's and did a spiritual reading for you guys. Everything in this world is a tool. And when you engage in the everyday life, you are able to see that. That's why people say that I humanize being a tarot reader or I humanize spirit. It's part of my mission here is to do this. But it's part of my mission to show you that you can do this, that you can give yourself the grace to experience certain things in life and not feel guilty as though you're not being a spiritual person. Ugh, you guys are like poking the bear with this energy. And I don't mean it in a bad way because I feel like you guys are probably the bear that has been poked as well. So let's see some more. Yeah, we have pendulum and decision, exactly what we've been talking about. Dice and gamble. And fire and spontaneity. Yeah. Okay, so this is literally like, what choices can I make? What choices can't I make? Am I really like gambling with my life? Am I gambling with my existence? Can I be spontaneous? Do I have to plan it all out? Like, what do I need to do? There's so much like analysis paralysis after these cards came out that honestly, you guys need to give yourself the grace of just taking a day off. Take a day off. Do something that is utterly human. I went through over Samhain, instead of meditating and connecting with my ancestors, I actually listened to my intuition, and my intuition was like, no, you should do this. And I cleaned my house. I threw away so much stuff in my house. If you guys can hear the snoring, Willow is out cold over in the corner. But that's what I did for Samhain. And, you know, it's a very spiritual time. The veil was very thin. The spiritual realm was really strong. But every time I threw something away from my past that no longer resonated with who I am truly, I literally could feel my spirit team celebrating. Every piece of garbage I took out of my house, every simplification or minimization that I did within my life, I could feel the spiritual realm celebrating. Could that have been seen as a gamble, as some spontaneous decision that I made that was really like, shouldn't you be doing this because this is what all the spiritualists are doing? Sure. But I trusted what was right, and I cleaned my surroundings, and I felt so grounded on a night where the energies were so potent, so powerful. And you know what? I still felt the downloads coming in the whole time. I just was able to channel the energy before it was ready to be unlocked in such a healthy way. In a healthy way that really helped open up my life to so much more because I was ready to close so many things off. Sometimes it's just giving yourself the grace to experience certain things, to be firm in your decisions, to know that you're not always just gambling your life away or gambling with your spirituality, but you're trusting in this life and this arena of being human that we chose to be. We've got the card 32, transformation. Reach out for the power and strength to make changes. Enrich your life and become the person you want to be. Exactly. No one else has the right to tell you who you are, what you can do, what is right for you. I don't even have the right to do that. I'm an outside source doing a reading about something that you need to understand about what's preventing you from really living fully your truest self right now. And it's literally the opinions and beliefs of others. We have beware, the card 3. Be careful who you trust at this time. You see this, exactly this. It's this understanding that even like everyone has their own opinions, their own takes, their own beliefs. Everyone does, myself included. So it's important for you to trust yourself, first and foremost, to trust yourself, to give yourself grace, to transform yourself. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. And look, we've got fire spontaneity. This is about you guys really, really stepping into your spiritual power. And we've got 7, cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. Really get into your own energies and really, really touch into what is right for you, what it is that your soul needs, what it is that your soul is calling for you to do. And I just saw 3333 on my camera. So that may be significant for some of you. More so 3s and 2s, but we've got repeating 7s as well. Spirit, is there anything else? We've got the 5 of coins. See, this perception that you can engage in certain things in life is actually keeping you in a state of lack because it creates a lack mentality. I can't do this, I can't do that, or I'm not this. It's a mindset that it keeps you in. Instead of saying, I choose my experiences, I choose to experience the world how I want to experience it, to experience spirituality how I want to experience it. You choose how this goes and say, I am living an abundant life and I am engaging in this life to the fullest extent. And then you actually start doing that. And it no longer feels as though you're being hindered by other people's beliefs and opinions. We have the 6 of swords. Yeah, it's moving on from that. It's realizing the ways in which you speak have to do with how you feel rather than what anyone else says. And then we've got the Seeker of Swords, which is also the Page of Swords. And that is the great detective of the tarot deck. And we have Justice. Exactly. It's literally like rebalancing the scales of your life because it's time for you to realize that it is up to you to choose what is right for you. It's not for me to say. It's not for Tarot with Tay to say. It's not for anyone else to say. We're sitting here and we're just channeling what Spirit tells us to channel. But it's not for us to say what is and is not right for you in your life because that's us passing judgment on you. And we don't have any right to do that. What we are here to do is teach, to share, to channel. We are here to help with your awareness and to help with your healing. But we're only here to give to you what you already contain within yourself. If the outer world is telling you that you cannot do certain things, that you cannot experience certain things, then those are teachers who are literally teaching you lack. They are teaching you nothing more or less than lack. If they tell you, I'll actually use one of Tarot Atea's videos, she talks about diet, but she didn't say, don't eat this, don't eat that. She said, this is coming through and this is coming through. So diet might be something important to be mindful of, something along those lines. But it's things like that. It's about how the person that you're interacting with is wording things that you need to be mindful of, or that you're being called to be mindful of. And I don't feel like I'm saying anything that you don't know already. Because in these situations, what I'm seeing is somebody actually watching someone that they used to truly enjoy watching. Like, I'm actually seeing someone watching a YouTube video of like, I don't know, somebody doing like an energy update. I want to say Lee Harris, but I don't feel like it's actually him, but I'm just going to use him as an example because I actually really love Lee Harris's channeling. But it's like watching him and you really enjoy him. And then all of a sudden he starts talking about all the things that you cannot do in this life, all the things that you should not do or cannot do because it makes you not spiritual. And you start getting this sick feeling when you interact with that. And the reason why is because your soul is actually rejecting that message, because your soul is going, but that is limiting me. That is putting me in lack. And I have healed this. I have come out of this. And right now, you guys are in this state of starting to really gain this awareness of how to be more grounded and how to experience life on an everyday basis, and how to develop certain routines and habits that keep you in your body, that keep your awareness in the present moment, and not things that make you escape. And still be able to enjoy life without feeling like you have to hyperanalyze, is this spiritual or is this not spiritual? Is this right or is this wrong? There's just this energy that, like, I just keep hearing they're keeping you in a state of lack. This is a lack mentality. Saying that someone can or cannot do something or should not do something because it limits their spirituality or it lowers their vibrations or what have you, it's lack teaching. It's lack mentality. That's why I always take the stance that I take as a mom. You can do literally anything you set your mind to. Anything your heart desires, you can have, you can accomplish, you can attain and achieve in your life. You can do this no matter what. And I didn't grow up with a mom who taught me that. So I try to teach my children that. I have a son who is dead set on being the inventor of teleportation. Am I telling him it's not possible? Absolutely not. I am telling him, absolutely you will. I 100% believe you will. Because if he believes it, I believe it. And you know what? There's enough evidence that it could be possible. We have the revolutionary. This is about you learning how to see through the illusion of words that people say that keep you in that state of lack. Get creative. Yeah. So that you can start engaging in life in a more full and enjoyable way. Then we have Get Curious on the back of the deck, which is literally this Seeker of Swords, that detective energy. Start getting really curious about the things that you want to experience, the things that you want to do. Get creative with your life. Do all of these things. Don't let anyone else in the outside world tell you what you can and cannot do. Start developing the kinds of routines and habits that make you feel like you're actually engaging with life and not like you're just trying to experience all these mystical things. And as great as they are, is that progressing your life? Is that moving you into your dreams? Or is it simply there for the sake of escaping? Because we can fall into that pattern as well. Pile 3, right now, it's time to allow yourself to walk away from anything that says you cannot do this and you cannot do that. And there is this and this and this. And you have to, anything that requires you to fall in line, to go against your inherent nature, and that takes you away from being able to fully experience what you came here to experience. The cards are telling you that you already know it's time to walk away and start getting curious about what you believe, what you feel good about? What makes you feel free? What makes you feel alive? You hold the sword of truth for yourself. If you're interacting with someone that says you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you should not do this, you should not do that, because it makes you less spiritual, or it means that you aren't enlightened, or you aren't healed because you're doing this, or you're lowering your vibrations, or anything like that, ask yourself if they make you feel this 5 of coins lack mentality, or if they make you feel as though you are creative and able to do whatever you want and balanced and harmonious and anchoring your truths into reality and living your life to the fullest. And if they don't make you feel that way, then ask yourself, what can I do? What kind of things can I bring into my life to help myself experience being here on a day-to-day basis? How can I trust myself more than anything outside of myself? Help me to alchemize this. And when you do that, your higher self comes in and goes, yay, let's do it. And I know that because that's how my higher self was. Very ready. All right, pile 3. This is way longer than I expected it to be, but you are my pile 3s, and this tends to go like in depth with you guys. And I'm always going to be here for the messages to come through as much as they need to, as long as they need to, because that's what I'm here for. And I'm always happy and honored to do it. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Definitely go and check out Tarot with Tay's video, What Do You Need to Understand? She's amazing, and the link will be in the description box below. Pile 3s, I want to say thank you so much to your guides and mine for facilitating the connections between our energies. And I want to say thank you so much to Spirit. I love when you come here and you channel these messages forth, and you do it in a way that I get to get pumped up and get inspired and help people feel inspired to take their power back and to take control of their lives and to really, really step into their power and their creativity, because the more that everyone is set ablaze with your power, the greater your power is here in this world, and the greater your truth is. And your truth is love. And I am honored to be the one to bring these messages forth. So thank you so much, Spirit. All right, pile 3s. I love you guys so much. I am so honored to have you guys here. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, there are links to my sister channel, Rising Sign Messages. Don't forget to check that out and subscribe to the channel so that you guys can follow the moon cycles with your rising sign and really work with the energies of the cosmos that are going on right now. And there are also links to donate to my channel, to book a personal reading, as well as links to my author page on Amazon, so you guys can check out my self-help books and my retrograde guidebooks. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. Reach out to other pile 3s. And really just, I love you guys. You guys are rock stars. So, all right, pile 3, thank you again so much. And I will see you at my next reading. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the 4th card in Rune, the card How or in What Way Do I Experience Myself When I'm Alone, as well as the Laguz rune, this is your message about what you need to understand. So before we get into it, I did want to preface this with an apology. I do know that you guys can kind of hear the heater in the background. I'm going to do my best to cancel out the background noise. But it's winter in North Dakota, and winter in North Dakota is freezing. So I need a heater because it gets really cold in my house, in my office, because I have a very old house. So with all that said, we're going to talk about the interaction of these two, the card and the rune. But before we get into it, I do want to, let's clear some of the energy out here before we get going. I'm just going to reignite my sage. I usually do this before I start filming. And I could have started over, but for some reason, Spirit's like, no, they need to see that there's a process here. I'm not really sure why, but I have a feeling we'll get into it. So the reason why I'm actually using sage today, which I normally don't, if I'm going to use anything during a reading, it'll be some kind of incense, or I'll use Palo Santo. Usually I save my sage for big cleanses after doing deep readings. But one of the reasons why is because with this reading, I'm actually opening up energetically this area to a lot of outside energies. And normally the energies that I work with are more internal energies. And with you in particular, working with these outside energies, it almost feels like a direct contradiction to your inner energies. And so it definitely needs to be something that you become a little bit more aware of. I'm not saying that you guys are not safe. I'm not saying that there's anything that you need to worry about. I am saying that if you feel calmed and soothed by using sage, Palo Santo, white candles, dragon's blood incense, or even just using a specific kind of, say, wax cubes or scented candles or anything like that to make you feel more calm and comforted, now is a good time in your journey to do that. So with that being said, and with that sage being cleared, and if you guys can hear any kind of rumbling, Willow is in here. And as of right now, she's in full let me attack my tail and my back legs mode for some reason. She's weird. She's my dog. So I do apologize if that's distracting. But I do have this candle here, and I don't normally do intention candles on my channel. This was something that Spirit led me to do for this reading in particular. And it's for your pile, this is about the illumination and inner awareness that you need. And I know that we are talking about what you need to understand, but this is about an inner-outer interaction a lot. And with you, it is deep emotional interactions. Before we light the candle, I'm going to pause and let Willow out before she gets too rambunctious. Okay, we are back. There's always that one pile that Willow is like, I'm going to make myself known. I'm going to make myself a nuisance. She is like the cutest nuisance though, so it's totally acceptable. But back to your energy, pile 4. We're going to be focusing on this intention candle. And this is going to be a time where the intention I can feel is in cleansing the heart chakra. Cleansing the heart chakra for greater self-acceptance. So, and I'll take a leaf out of Chloe Taylor's book. I know she does these kind of readings, and I'll actually ask you guys, if you feel comfortable with it, to put your hands on your heart chakra or your higher heart chakra, depending on where you're most comfortable with. I usually tend to go with higher heart chakra, so it's right in the middle of your chest, right up on top. And I want you to picture flowing water, like a waterfall, going over your heart and cleansing it and washing away anything that looks like debris, anything that looks like resistance, anything that looks like, it's almost like I'm getting this image of like almost like a silt or a dirt, and just wash it all away. Watch as the water flows down in this very purifying, very cleansing way, and have it clear that heart chakra area and cleanse it out in order to help you learn to accept yourself a little bit more. It's not that you're not quite adept at self-acceptance and self-love. It's just a little bit more that we're going to cleanse out. As you're picturing this waterfall, I just got like I just felt like almost cold water go through my heart chakra. That was very beautiful energy. Well done, pile 4. Like, well done. You guys are rock stars. I love how active my channel is, like my viewers are in engaging with this, because I genuinely feel it through my body, through my energy, and it just makes me so happy. So I want you guys to really focus on that. Let that wash away. It's almost like you want it to come out really squeaky clean, like almost this iridescent green, so that you can see how great of a polish and shine there is. And as you do that, I'm going to go ahead and light this candle to aid and assist in that journey. All right. Okay, pile 4. So this candle definitely, as far as the wick goes, this is the wick that is the absolute straightest that I have seen. A lot of them, and I didn't note it in the other piles, but it wasn't something that seemed to stand out to me. But with yours, the wick seemed to want to be very upright, very direct, almost like you're standing at attention. So this tells me that there is this energy within your aura, more so your aura than internal anything, that is coming into greater alignment with your truest self. It's not necessarily an outer alignment. It's more of an inner alignment. So this reading is genuinely about what you need to understand. It's about how the outer world is impacting your inner existence and your inner awareness and your belief in yourself. And in that way, I want to talk about the how, or in what way do I experience myself when I'm alone, along with the Lagoos. This is about your comfort and safety and self-expression when it comes to your emotions, verbalizing your emotions. So here's something that Spirit's bringing me to is there used to be a time in my life where when I was with other people, I did not feel safe. I did not feel safe speaking. I did not feel safe expressing myself. If there was any kind of discord, any kind of disagreement, argument, or anything like that in any of my interpersonal relationships, I would have to wait until the other person was no longer in the room with me, or in the house with me, or in whatever area we were at, whether it was a classroom or a vehicle or whatever it was. I would have to wait because I could not verbalize. My throat chakra was so locked up and I was so cut off from my heart that I could not speak anything unless I was utterly alone. And then I could text, but even that I would really temper my own emotions. And then when I was not with anyone at all, I would let all the emotions just pour out of me, just flood out of me completely and utterly. And then I would feel this sense of almost shame in how I felt. And the reason why was because growing up, I was always told that I was too, and then you fill in the blank. I was too much. I was too emotional, too hyper, too excited. I was I was too loud. I was too quiet. I was just, it was always too much. The worst part was my emotions. My emotions were wrong and my emotions were too much. I get this energy from you guys that this is a wound that has been healed over time. But this card coming out with the Lagoos rune, it asks you how you engage with your emotions and how you experience yourself emotionally when you're alone, and how you feel about that engagement after when you come back out into the world. So essentially, it's almost like this convoluted way in which the past is informing the present, which is informing, it's reshaping your interpersonal relationships and the way that you actually interact with the outer world. So it's not so much that the outer world is impacting your inner world anymore. It's that as you work through this, what you're going to notice is you're actually going to notice the dissonance between the way that your outer world actually is right now and how supportive and loving it is right now. Because I feel that very strongly for you guys, whether you realize it or not. There are many people around you who genuinely love and support you. And how the wounds from the past, if you hear me get a little distance, it's because my cat is ringing the doorbell. Winifred? Okay, thank you. Anyway, the wounds from the past can create this bubble of, I can't trust anyone and I can't express myself completely. And you perpetuate the same cycle. So as you start becoming aware of this, now you're going to be asked, I'm hearing you're going to be asked to flip the script. You're going to be asked, I get kind of a hangman energy, which doesn't surprise me because we are working with the Elder Futhark runes and you know, they're intricately linked to Odin and to the Hanged Man. But with this, I really get this energy of, you know, changing the perspective here and allowing yourself to see beyond the wounded child into a more healed and healthy inner child expression, if that makes sense. For the others of you, I feel like the majority of you fall in that category where it's like you're actually backwards. It's this, what you need to understand is that your inner wounds are actually informing your outer interactions instead of the outer interactions informing how you feel about yourself internally. For others of you, this is actually for all of you. I just heard all. For all of you, the other aspect of this is asking you to think about how you come to yourself. Spirit, can you help me explain this? Okay. I talk on this channel a lot about epiphany showers and me taking spiritual showers and things of that nature. When I'm doing these things, I'm experiencing myself alone. Like I make it a point that there's no one else with me. There's no one else in the room because I want to be in my own energy. I want that because I know that when I am in my own energy, when I am alone, then I can decipher a lot easier or discern a lot easier when I'm picking up exterior energies versus interior energies. There are still some times where I can't. So for you, you guys are my sensitives. You're my empaths. You might be my Reiki pile in fact, because I'm feeling a lot of tingling in my hands and my hands are getting really warm. But this is asking you to see how much you're able to tap back into yourself versus your interactions with the outside world. Now, for those of you who resonate deeply with the empath, and I don't mean like I feel empathy in certain situations. I mean, you go to, say, the mall, and if you have not done any kind of protective bubble of energy and really centered yourself into your own energy or worn headdresses or like a hat or anything of that nature, you can get cranky, you can get irritated, you can get short-tempered, or you can end up bursting into tears randomly without knowing why because you're soaking up so much and you can't filter it fast enough. That's the kind of energy that I'm talking about and picking up here. You guys are deep in this water I want to say Water World. I don't know if somebody just recently watched that. If so, this is your sign. But you're deeply in that watery energy. And because of that, Spirit and your guides are asking you to think about how it all interplays. This is such a different energy from all of the other piles. All of the other piles were so clear, and there is such a cloudedness here. There's this kind of essence of, I'm not necessarily seeing everything completely clearly. This water rune, there's so many different names for it. There's so many different energies to it. And it actually is correlated both to Freya as well as to Loki. And these are very different energies. But at the core of it, it really talks about nature. And it talks about your own nature. How do you experience yourself, your own personal nature? Do you know what your actual nature is? Or do you come to say, and please know that this is not me calling you out, because I've been in this position myself where I'm sitting there going, I don't know how I feel. How do I know what my emotions are? How do I separate this? How do I understand what it is that I'm feeling? Like, what am I feeling and how do I define it? I've been in that state where I have not known myself because I've been so in depth helping other people throughout my life that I didn't know what my own emotions felt like. I only knew what other people's felt like. I had to literally step back and teach myself how I felt, what emotions felt like to me on a personal basis. It sounds almost outrageous for me to say out loud, but that's just how it was. This is asking you if you know your actual nature. Do you know what is natural for you? Do you know what your natural reactions are, what your natural actions are? Do you know what your natural state of being is? And do you know what that is outside of anyone else's influence? Or do you have this tendency to sometimes come to pick a cards and have them explain it to you so that you can understand, because you're not sure how to articulate it or you're not sure how to experience it? How or in what way do I experience myself when I'm alone? When you're alone, do you come to readings so that you can understand yourself? Do you go to the divine to understand yourself? Do you allow yourself to engage in certain things, not because other people say you should, not because the world says you should, not because that's how you were raised, but because it's something that genuinely brings you a sense of enjoyment, a sense of peace, a sense of self-satisfaction, a sense of self, or a sense of being true to your nature? These are really hard questions, but when you are in that empath and that psychic and that intuitive energy, that healer energy for so long, sometimes you forget that you are a person too, that you have needs, that you have emotions, that you have things that you are meant to experience. And if there are some of you, and I want to say this is a small amount. I don't want to give I'm hearing 70-30 split. I didn't want to give that, but then I heard it. And so I can't negate it. I heard a 70-30 split where there's about 30% of you who haven't healed this ability to be in your own energy, to be in your own company, because you don't know necessarily that you like yourself. And on the other side of this, there is an energy here that's asking, do you allow your emotions to flow so that you can actually be inspired and move in inspired ways? Do you see yourself as capable and possible of doing anything and everything that you want and really following your passions? Or do you feel as though you're so encumbered by emotions and outside influences that you don't get a choice in what you do? Do you see a mask that you have to wear all the time, or do you see that you are capable of flowing with who you are? There's a lot of questions here that feel like it doesn't necessarily feel like it's meant to challenge you, like emotionally challenge you. It may be emotionally challenging. I am getting some of that energy, but this is more I just heard critical thinking. It's more like your guides want you to be a little bit more rational and logical about your own emotions right now so that you can step further into your own fire instead of water. It's like, please step out of this energy. I can't even explain it. I'm just seeing like waves. And that energy, you're being asked to move out of that and into like the flame energy. And as I'm saying that, I'm watching the flame like go back and forth. Like it wants to dance. I can feel it wanting to dance. And as I'm saying that, it's moving again. I can feel it wanting to dance, but it's like it's being tempered. And spirit and your guides are saying, stop tempering this part of you. It's time to let this part of you out. And it's time to ask yourself, do you temper this part because the world says that if you're an empath, you can't have this nature. You can't have this fiery go, go, go nature. And to that, guys, I'm actually going to challenge you on a personal level directly. Okay, I had to get permission from your guides. They're like, yeah, go ahead. I want you guys to look back at some of my videos where I get really pissed off. And talk about it. In my Let's Talk videos, you can go back to some of the earlier ones where I'm just genuinely pissed. I lost a lot of viewers over one of them where I was really pissed off about a situation my daughter was in. And I honestly, in the past, I would have been so distraught over the loss of subscribers. And at the same time, I went, you know what? If they can't handle my fiery nature, but they want only my watery giving nature, then they're not the subscribers for me. Sometimes you have to learn how to separate what the outside world's response is versus what your actual worth is. So if you have this fiery nature when you're alone, but you're afraid to show it to the outside world because you believe that the outside world expects you to be highly emotional, they expect you to react in this certain way because you're an empath, because of this, because of that, it's time for you to really get real about what you are seeing in the outside world. This is really taken, you guys are like all over the place with this energy. I like it a lot. I really do. I'm going to venture a guess that you guys are my ADD, ADHD people, like my neurodivergence, because this is how our brains work. We go from a childhood wound to, hey, what are we actually impacting in the outside world, to why aren't we doing this instead? Like the way that my channeling is going for you guys, I feel very, very much in my like squirrel pinging energy. I love this energy because this is the energy that this energy right here, when I ping all over the place, and this is something that the only reason I'm mentioning it is literally because your guides have been challenging you to step more into this fiery, like divine masculine energy outside of the watery divine feminine energy that you carry. Sorry. See, it's that. This squirrel energy that I have where I go all over the place and really like dive down rabbit holes and everything like that. This is what helps me hyper focus on certain spiritual lessons or learning certain things. Like this is the energy that I was in when I first started working with tarot. And I would be able, it just filled me with such fiery passion that I didn't stop day in, day out. I was shuffling cards. I was taking notes. I was channeling. Like there are so many notebooks where I have channeled messages that I don't have any idea what they say. None whatsoever, because I was just lost in the action of doing it, in the spontaneity and the inspiration of engaging in it. And that's something that I feel like you're being asked to do when you're alone. Let yourself get kind of lost in a different kind of energy outside of your emotions so that this can be rebalanced and that heart chakra can be cleansed out. So your heart starts understanding that every single part of you matters, no matter what the outside world says, no matter what you feel like the outside world needs of you because of whatever happened in the past. it's time for you to really step into who you are and what you're capable of and what you're here to really experience. And it starts at home. It starts with you. It starts when you're alone. So let's take a look at the cards and see more. Yeah. 1, love. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. I got to preface this. This is not about romantic love at all. This is about how you love yourself, how you love each and every bit, bobble, piece, and part of who you are. I am literally hearing my favorite things from the sound of music in my head, like how you love yourself and love the fact that you love raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. It's a really weird message. I really love you guys. Okay. This is literally about how you love yourself. And even though Aphrodite is associated with love in a romantic sense, when we love another person, to be in a state of healthy love, and I need you guys to understand, you can absolutely love another person and not love yourself, but it's imbalanced. It's not a healthy state of love because you're giving someone else what you're not giving to yourself. And so there will always be that sense of imbalance, and that can actually create dissonance in your relationship because you see it as they're not giving back to you when in reality you're not giving to yourself. And this is a hard lesson to learn. I know how hard it is to learn because I had to get bit in the ass by real love in order to be able to understand that I was engaging in codependency because I was not allowing myself to love myself. I couldn't be alone with myself because I couldn't stand myself. So this is asking you to think about how you truly love yourself. And the divine and your guides and Aphrodite herself are coming forward and saying, call on us, ask for help, ask for peace internally to love yourself. Ask for true love for yourself. Bring true love to me. Bring it internal to your heart so that you love yourself. Because when you do that, then the outside world's opinions and beliefs and whatever, they don't matter anymore. They don't matter. They help uplift you when you do something and you're like, hey, they appreciate it. Awesome. But they can't tell you that any piece and part of you is wrong because you know every piece and part of you is meant to be a part of you, and you are not wrong. You are beautiful and brave and brilliant and meant to be a beacon of love in this world. Plain and simple. So let's continue. Phrenology and certainty. See exactly what I'm saying. This absolute certainty of what you are worth, of who you are and what you're meant for and what you're here to do. It's like there's an angel literally whispering in your ear and saying, please love yourself. You are meant for love. Love is your nature. It's time for you to really think about how you love yourself here. Fortune cookie, fortuitous. And then we have runes and perception. I got hangman energy with you and talked about shifting your perception. I love it. So this fortuitous and perception is literally saying it is in your best interest. The most fruitful energy that you can be in is one in which you perceive with absolute certainty your own worthiness of love, your own divine nature of being love. And some of you, when you're alone, you have more doubt about who you are and what you're worth. And that would be why you come to pick a cards. So we've got that. I'm going to not take the 20 cards that fell on the floor, but we will take this one. We have the card 30 with sun. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. I mean, you guys are my pile that like all the cards, I can sit here and channel and all the cards are literally going to tell you exactly what I just said. But to doubt yourself when you're alone is to doubt your own worth. it's time for you to step into this state of certainty, this state of, I know who I am, I know what I'm worth, and I know what I'm meant for. And the more that you open your heart, and the more that you cleanse this heart chakra out, the more certain you are of your path, of the love that you have, of who you're meant to be, and of the fact that there is nothing in the outer world that can actually impact you. We've got the card 25 with Phoenix. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. I love it. I love, love, love it. This Phoenix energy keeps coming up. There's a lot of fire energy, and it doesn't surprise me because we are into Sagittarius season now. We've got 24, patience, slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. So this is not just about your heart chakra. This is about aligning your heart and your head. That, you know, with a phrenology and certainty, definitely should have been obvious for me, but unity. And again, head and heart aligning. A time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. Okay. I gotta say this. You guys, if you're new to my channel, you don't know this. If you're not new to my channel, you know this well. I don't like doing any kind of relationship readings. And yet at the same time, as much as I can say that you're attracting both great love to yourself, this is the second card about attracting love. And there is all this divine counterpart energy out in the collective. And with Venus moving through Sagittarius in this way, it's almost like we've got this energy of coming into this understanding of what love really looks like and what love really means to us on a personal level. Some of you may be Leos, you may be Scorpios. You may have prominent Leo and Scorpio placements. So like, say for instance, you have a Scorpio rising and a Leo sun, or a Scorpio sun and a Leo rising, something like that. And you guys are like only pile that I got astrological information on. But there's this unity is also talking about your head and your heart. It's about your ability to move forward from a state of love, knowing that all of you is aligned. Your divine masculine and divine feminine, your light and your shadow. It's this entirety of who you are stepping into this state of love and understanding that you're going to move forward from this place and really work to change the world, work to spread this divine love and this divine awareness, and to spread the possibility of just loving oneself and how that can change the world. We have the revolutionary here. So yeah, there's definitely that energy. There's a lot of fire energy here with this water rune. So fire and water are literally two polar opposites. Fire is divine masculine, water is divine feminine. And you may hide one aspect away more than the other. And I actually get more of hiding that divine masculine away from the rest of the world. I don't know why, like, my voice came out like almost Southern. We've got power and we have the warrior. Absolutely. This is literally what I'm picking up. And on the back, we have the alchemist. And I haven't been doing this, but this felt really important for you to see, because it's about you learning how to blend these energies together to really see that as much as you keep fighting these battles, you're here to change the way we see being a warrior. You're here to change the way that power works. And like I was saying, I do get this sense that you hide away your divine masculine energy a lot more. Like, if I'm in my divine masculine energy, I can't be loving. That's not the case. That's just simply not the case. Like, I feel it, but it's not the case. And we've got the 5 of coins. You guys may be here from another pile. I didn't want to say it, but there are too many of the same cards for me to not mention it. So if you're here from that other pile, then hi. Okay, so we've got the 5 of coins. Strength. See, there's that Leo energy again. The Sovereign of Cups. That is the Queen of Cups. Cancerian energy now. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. And on the back, we have the Hermit. So we have Scorpio, Leo, Cancer, Virgo. Anything else really that I'm picking up for astrological energies? I don't feel a whole lot more. But the Hermit card is this question of how or in what way do I experience myself when I'm alone? It's asking you, do you see yourself as lacking certain things? Because what I'm seeing here is this state of lack is ready to be cleansed out. It's ready to go. Like when I see these hands like this, it's almost like you're ready to throw away any kind of lack mentality, any kind of unworthiness mentality. But it's just this one little like glitch of finding where the source is. And this reading, we've gone all over the place trying to find the source. So that tells me that it's either incredibly elusive, there are many, many people watching this, or the source, but you're denying it and changing the source within your energy field consistently because you don't want to look at it. Now, we don't always want to look at our own mental state of lack. We don't want to be like, yeah, I had this lack mentality. We don't always want to be there. Sometimes we just want to hide that away and be like, no, I don't want to believe it. So I'm going to choose to say that I'm in an abundance mindset when you're not. This is asking you to get really real, really honest with yourself, really honest with your emotions, really honest with what you want for yourself. Because when you experience yourself, when you're alone and you are 100% true to yourself, it wouldn't matter if your worst enemy knocked on the door and started attacking you verbally. They're not going to impact because you know yourself. And that's where the real strength comes from, is knowing your darkness, knowing your light. And then when you know these parts of yourself and you know your divine masculine and divine feminine, you know that no one can impact it. That's when you stand in your sovereignty. Now we've got the revolutionary power and the warrior along with the sovereign of cups. To me, that is a hell of a lot of like divine masculine fire, divine masculine air, and divine feminine water. This tells me that you are ready to take some sort of action forward. So there's this energy of, I know where I'm going, I know what I need, and I know what I need to initiate because it's time for me to have my Ace of Cups moment. And I loathe to say new beginning just because it's such a trigger point for so many people right now. However, when you come into a state in which you have stepped back into your power and been like, okay, I know what I'm here for, and I know what I'm going to fight for, and I know what it's worth, and I know what my perception is, and I have changed my attitude, cleared my mind, I have renewed myself, stepped into this energy. I know what I'm here for, and I know what is meant for me. I have this cleansing, this clarity. I know love, and I know the illusions of the world, and I won't fall to the illusions of the world because I am in a state of love anytime I'm alone. And because I know how that is, I know when I come to the world, I carry that with me, and I have the capability of not being impacted by the illusions. You do start something new. You start a whole new emotional cycle in your life. This Ace of Cups goes beyond any like romantic connection. This is about the entirety of your life thus far, and how as soon as you choose to step into your strength and your sovereignty, balance these out and step out of any sense of lack, when you throw away that garbage mentality of, I can't do this, I can't be this way, I am not worthy of, or I am too this, too that, anything like that, and you say, you know what, I am a force to be reckoned with. I am powerful. I am majestic. I am brilliant. I am loving. I am loved. I am certain of my perception of myself. And I know that I am worth so much in this world. I am walking luck. I am walking beauty. I am the alchemist who takes any situation and turns it directly into gold because I know how to alchemize everything. When you start going in that direction, in that mindset, you revolutionize everything that came before in your life. You radically change your emotional and like your entire emotional cycle and path, because now you've stepped fully into your heart space, a healed, cleansed, cleared, powerful heart space. So this is all I'm seeing for you guys to become aware of. I know that kind of felt like I would like hit it on a cliffhanger, but I heard stop, and I'm seeing a stop sign with my clairvoyance. And so that tells me that whatever is to come afterwards is something that you have to experience yourself and when you're alone. So I've done my job. All right, pile 4. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Definitely make sure that you go and check out Tarot with Tay's part, What Do You Need to Understand? Her link is in the description box below. And make sure that you definitely, go and check her out. I do want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. I want to say thank you so much to Spirit, these messages, I couldn't have even fathomed how they would come out. I know that I was a little bit resistant to some of the energies, and you really brought me a sense of calm and peace to be able to bring these messages forth. And so I am deeply, deeply grateful for you and for how you work with me and for the collective through me. And thank you so much, Spirit, for helping me to forge connections with other readers like Tarot with Tay, so that we can work together to spread your peace, your love, your healing, and your messages to a greater audience. I'm honored every day to work with you, so thank you. Okay, pile 4. This is all I've got for you. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. In the description box, there are links to Tarot with Tay's video, as well as links to my second channel, Rising Sign Messages, where we do moon cycle energies every week. There's also links to donate to my channel, to book a personal reading, and to my author page on Amazon if you're interested in checking out my books. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated. I would love to get your feedback. I would love to hear from you guys. I love interacting with you guys, and I love when you guys interact with each other. So, all right, my loves, that is all I'm seeing, and I am going to leave you here. I want to say one more time a huge, huge shout out to Tarot with Tay. Tay, you are just a rock star, amazing, amazing beacon of light in this world, and I am just honored to have been able to do this reading and bring this reading out to the collective. So thank you again. So, all right, pile 4, I love you all. Bye.